Everybody, welcome back to Shoe and Show. Thanks for joining us. Matt, I asked ChatGTP to give me a shoe joke to open the show. Here's what I got. Not so good. Why did the shoe go to school, Matt? Why?
I don't know why the shoe went to school.
Because it wanted to be a smart soul.
Yeah. Terrible. My dad
Terrible.
Better joke than that.
Technology isn't everything. You still need personal interactions, but there are a lot of amazing technologies that are changing how we make shoes, sell shoes, interact with consumers. And so I know today we've got somebody who is coming on today that's kind of revolutionary in their approach to kind of a consumer experience in many ways and product delivery. So Matt, who we got?
Yeah, I'm super excited about this conversation because tragedy brought me together with this guy, and we've become dear friends since, and that's Shalom Moskowitz, who's founder and creator of ShopX, along with his partner in crime, Inbar Mor. They're both based in Israel and are really doing some really cool things on the retail technology landscape, Andy. And so I was like, hey, you should come on and talk to us and make us smarter because ChatGPT ain't going to do it.
And it do it. They didn't do it.
Make us smarter about what's happening in retail, particularly in Israel. So Shalom and Inbar, welcome. Shalom. Welcome to the Shoe and Show podcast. Out of the gate, just tell us who you are, Shalom, and then we'll pivot over to you, Inbar. Tell us who you are and what you do.
Okay. Shalom Moskowitz, like Matt said, I'm originally from New York, moved to Israel around 8 years ago with my family, and started the company after moving here. It was a dream to move to Israel for us. And it's been very, very exciting. 8 years, been, nonstop. I also want to say thank you to Matt and FDRA. We met one of my closest friends now, Matt, through work that we did post October 7th. The most meaningful relationships in my lives some of them were created during that time. Our COO, who's not on the call, Emma, was a woman, I think you might know her, Matt. She was one of my close people that I worked with during the war, volunteering. We did a lot of projects together, and that brought us together. So even part of the senior team over here was forged in that post-October 7 time. And that's about me. Inbar?
Yes, so my name is Inbar Mor. I'm 30 years old. And from Tel Aviv. I was born and raised in Israel, but I was raised in the South. If we're already talking about war, so I know all about it. But I think this is what makes us Israeli really resilient, or like the top in the industry in the world in the tech industry. And I'm a chemical engineer myself, and then I was pivoting like many times in my life to entrepreneurial and like selling technology for many years. And joining ShopX, it's like a dream come true for me because it's like combining lots of industry need and bringing my top capabilities in order to bring it to market, both on the sales, marketing, investor relations. So I'm really happy to be on this journey with Shalom. And it's been an amazing journey until now. But now that we are like really stepping up and doing our first launch in Israel, it's a really amazing and exciting times. So yeah, that's about me.
That's awesome. So let's talk about the technology, Shalom. What is ShopX? What are you trying to do? And what's this problem out there in retail that you're trying to solve that I think is not just about retail in broad sense, but industry specific? Talk to us about what you're up to.
Okay, so really what our goal is, the problem is that brick and mortar retail is really an existential crisis. Whether it's Amazon, the whole online universe, other competition, there's just so much out there. There's so many different ways for consumers to purchase, and so many convenient different ways. It's an assault on the consumer. It's very hard for brick and mortar retailers to make money. And when they stop focusing on the experience, it really causes customers to stop coming. And it's really like almost a death spiral. Not almost, it's a death spiral. And so we've been looking at that as how do we create a profitable a brick and mortar retail experience that would be from the retailer side, but also a retail experience that a customer would actually want to go to. So because there are so many options for the consumer, what makes them come to your store? Why would they want to go to your store? There's so many better ways to buy. So we need to answer that question for the consumer, and we need to answer it in a way that the retailer can still make money and not just be bleeding. So that's where we came from, and that's where we decided to really redesign the physical shopping experience. Our company ShopX is all about the shopping experience, but we're using two distinct technologies that are very of the moment. Obviously, AI and automation, robotics. Those two things are really have exploded, and we're really on the forefront of both of those areas. Less on the robotic side, that's more standardized that we're using on an agnostic level, but on the AI side, we're really advanced in how we're using it to create a totally personalized shopping experience. So from the customer's perspective, they now have an amazing experience. Like I know, like I could look back, I bought custom shirts as a child. My father had money, don't ask. And I went to the custom shop in Manhattan as a 9th grader. The most amazing sales experience of my life. The attention, the focus, the offers, and yet I wasn't choosing from the shirts. I was speaking to a salesperson that made sure to understand everything I wanted, and it was the most luxurious sales experience for a 14-year-old. But for anybody really, and that's what we're really trying to access, that ideal sales experience, but doing it in a scalable way that's actually profitable for a retailer. And with AI tools, and we've created an immersive environment for the sales experience, we're creating an experience that's really unforgettable for the customer. It gives them that personal interaction and helps them decide what they need. This is, by the way, even for shoes. We're doing it for liquor to start, but shoes is the next, the next stage of it.
It's very logical. It's very logical from liquor straight to shoes. I'll just say that. Right?
Yes,
I am over 21 myself, so I'm legal to say that. Yeah.
Yes.
If I could add to what
From liquor to no shoes, we all know how to get there.
That means you drink too much.
Yeah.
I wanted to add to what Shalom was saying. After talking with so many retailers, we really kind of understood that the main adding to the problem that Shalom described, that we really need sometimes that the salesperson would ask the right questions, right? This is what makes a great salesperson to an amazing salesperson, that he knows the specific questions that should be asked in order to get to the top sale, or to make like some kind of an upsell to the client. And what we've realized is that we sometimes in stores we don't have the agent that will be like knowledgeable enough in the field in order to give
not expert enough.
He's not expert in his field.
Yes.
Enough to give the correct recommendations, and sometimes he can give a good recommendation, but the product is not in stock, so he's not aware of what's available in the inventory. So our system is aware of what's in inventories and is actually giving the correct answers based on that also. So we've created the perfect salesperson, the perfect agent that a customer can relate with, can speak with. She will recognize him. She will give him like the personalized experience that he needs in order to get back to the specific store. So to be good for everyone, like a win-win situation.
Yeah, I think Andy, if I could, I want to bring you in like to visualize it, because and people can access a link in the description of this episode to go and see the video. It's pretty amazing. But Andy, in it, they've got an avatar woman who is behind her is the knowledge of all the wine purchases this customer has ever made in his history, knows what the customer has liked, what they've liked over the years, what the occasion is. It's his wife's birthday, and so she recommends a certain type of wine, and then upsells because there's a discount if you buy in bulk, right? So in my mind, to go in and know that Andy only has purchased Adidas Boost over the last 15 years and knows your size and knows what's in inventory, it's a really cool kind of interaction. And Andy and I have talked on this program a lot over the years about infusing experience within the retail experience itself. So what is a draw into the space beyond just picking up a pair of shoes? And so it's a really cool platform that ShopX is developing.
Is this like walk me through it? If I walk to what you're talking about, is it a store I walk into?
Yeah, or I'll walk you through. I'll walk you through the process.
Yeah,
I'll walk you through the process for liquor. For shoes, it would be a little different. We've designed the process for shoes, but that's not what we're building right now. What we're building right now is the liquor store. So I'll walk you through that. And you can see this process in the video that Matt said will be in a link. But basically, you walk into a store. It's sort of set up like a boutique. You walk into a lobby. You'll see some displays of liquor behind glass, different like promotional kind of stuff. You'll see a series of rooms in front of you. Each of those rooms is its own environment. It's an immersive, think of a photo booth. And you'll have 5, 10 of these rooms, depending on velocity of customer and how many you want to be able to handle at any given time. Think of each of these booths as like a cashier station. So you'll have these 5 booths. You walk into one. How may I help you, Andy? And you're conversing with an AI agent, Jenny. Our main AI agent is Jenny. In addition to conversing with her, you're also surrounded on 3 sides by immersive screens with projectors. So, for example, if you're talking about wine, you'll be transported to a vineyard or to a wine cellar. If you're talking about tequila, you'll be transported to a Mexican beach. All the screens around you. So as the content of the conversation changes, the content of the environment you're in changes. So it's very immersive in that way, and it's very and like Inbar mentioned, you're getting information from a trusted source. It's giving good answers. It's designed to give you accurate answers, to understand what you want, and to recommend based on the things that you've said you want. Think of sometimes very human salespeople, even the ones that actually want to help. That gets rid of 90% that are either on their phone or irritated about something that day. We're talking about the 10% that want to help. How many times are they selling you the wrong thing because you said I want this, but they want to sell you what their boss wants to sell? And that's a great thing that they want to sell what their boss wants to sell, but that's not what the customer is talking about. So stick to the program. The AI agent doesn't make those mistakes. They understand to be responsive to the customer while still keeping within their vast brain all of the promotions and the things that we want to sell more than other things. So it's actually balancing both. And that's what we're trying to do, balance the needs of the retailer and the consumer. And this is so the AI agents I'm walking you through. You're talking to the AI agent, you're now ready to buy, whether it's a bottle of wine, 3 bottles of wine, a bottle of wine and tequila and vodka. Let's say you bought 3 bottles, a bottle of wine, tequila, and vodka. You're on the kiosk, pay now, you pay with your phone, let's say. and on your way out of the room, you get a QR code on your phone. You get your receipt with your QR code. So in that room, you get all the recommendations and you purchase. All the purchasing happens in there. The browsing, the thinking, the talking, that's in that room. When you walk out of that room, you have a receipt with a QR code. From there, you walk over to a pickup machine. Think of the pickup machine like an ATM machine, but instead of for money, it's for booze in this case. For shoes in the next case, but for now, it's liquor and wine. It's booze. You walk over to the ATM machine, you scan your QR code, the system sends a message to the back, the stuff you bought, and behind the wall there's a robotic system. Think of bin-to-person warehouse technology where, it comes in these like blue bins. So every product is in its own blue bin, and the robots in the back bring the blue bin to the back of the pickup machine and insert it into the pickup machine. It opens, a door opens for the customer in the front of the pickup machine, and they take their bottle out of the bin. There's also bags over there, like a bagging station. Think of like a self-checkout place in a grocery store. So you have little bags, you have a little table to put your stuff down. You take the wine out of the bin, put it in a bag. That door closes, that bin leaves. The next bin with your tequila comes. The door opens, you take the tequila out, put it in a bag. The door closes, the next bin comes, door opens, you take your, I think it's vodka, the third one. Take it out, put it in a bag, you walk out of the store. That's the process for the customer. On the other side of the wall, you have very, very simple robotics that's been used for decades. This bin-to-person robotic system. Our software is designed to work with really the simplest bin-to-person robotic system because all of the inventory and all of the location of the bins, that's all being handled by our proprietary system. So we're using the robotic system really just as, bring me this bin when I tell you to, the simplest instruction level. So that's how the system works.
Yeah.
And we are agnostic to hardware. So we can use whatever hardware we want to.
Yeah. And I think the beauty of it is it's also the square footage of the footprint of the retail store is smaller, and the personnel, the jobs needed to maintain the operations are limited. And so you could see in tight spaces and in places where you want to really have high volume and drive product while not taking up as much square footage because maybe it's expensive. Maybe you're in Miami and it's expensive, or Manhattan or whatever, but you still can have the opportunity.
Like Puma's headquarters. Think about what Puma's paying in Manhattan, right? Remember, Matt, that day when I met you in the city? Yep. I had just been at Puma before.
Yeah, Fifth Avenue. That's some pricey real estate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Inbar, let me ask you kind of what has been the response as you talk to investors and retailers, because I think one of the things that we are trying to do, and we do this, Andy does it really well, and our organization does it, but it's kind of look out beyond our noses, essentially to the horizon, to see what's out there and kick the tires on some things that from a technological perspective may not be top of mind or right in our faces yet, but are coming and people are innovating and developing. Talk to us about kind of what the response has been as you've done the kind of the show and tell of this cool technology.
Yeah, for sure. So the fact that we were able to close our first proof of concept in Israel, it means that we have like some kind of a stamp on someone that is ready to pay for it for the first pilot, and for the others they're ready to experience it once they'll see it happening. So once they're coming to visit us in Israel in our first store that we are actually building it in those days, that the launch is really soon in the next couple of weeks. So this fact is a great feedback. And for the others, we actually, as I said in the beginning, we know that the pain and the challenge is really huge, and all of them are like, show it to me. I mean, once you're gonna show me it's working, sign me in. I mean, I want to be the next, and the list is like like many people are interested, and they're going to be next after the first proof of concept.
Yeah.
I just want to tie that just for a second to what Matt was saying earlier with the size of the store and the profitability. Our format and our technology is designed to be really transformative to the bottom line. Like take just in the liquor category and the initial target stores that we're targeting, we're talking about taking their profitability level 2.5 times. 250%, the bottom line, the profit line. With this, we're raising revenue, raising margin, profit margin, dramatically lowering labor costs by over 80%, and even facility costs, because like Matt said, we need less space, and there's less cost associated with the facility because a lot of it is not open to the customers. So it's really transformative to the retailer at the same time as being very, very desirable to the customer.
I think one thing that's fascinating about this is the information you can capture from consumers. I think it's a continual challenge when someone walks through the door to understand who that person is. Like obviously you walk through a shoe store door and somebody's gonna say, hello, how are you doing? Let me know if I can help you. But you don't know if that person is like, doesn't want the help, right? Wants to do it on their own, doesn't want to talk to anybody, or if they actually want like real engagement. You don't know their shoe size when they walk through. You don't know, a number of things, and you're not capturing that information. But this allows you to capture tastes. And I've said for a long time, eventually we'll be scanning our closets, right? And they'll have AI tell us what we're missing. Like, you don't have any yellow shoes. What are you doing, right? Like, you got green and blue. And so if you want Roy G. Biv, you want the full rainbow, you're missing yellow. And you've got 15 high heels you don't need anymore, but you could use a pair of running shoes. Those running shoes are like, looking kind of rough. So it allows, I think, an engagement where it's building a profile in real time. And I think in the modern age, I think we're moving into this artificial age. The digital age, people didn't do quite well at all. And I think a lot of people are like, oh, we did great. We set up a website and we've got a rewards program. And I'm like, yeah, but you're capturing like 10% of what you could do, right? Like, you're not really optimized. So we're moving in some ways past this data age where people really didn't do well into this artificial age where they don't understand it at all. And the ability to, I think, fill in those gaps in the digital space, right? Of AI allows us to go from 10% to 50% really quickly in terms of filling in user profiles and all number of things to bring in this information. And I think that's kind of the next level, is like the consumer preference. We always talk about customization in terms of product, but there's also customization in terms of like the engagement experience and interactions that people want. And like, even when I go to a website, I don't want to see everything you have to offer. I want to see what is in my size and what I like. So when I land on a website, I don't need 100% of your website. I need 10% of your website. Great point. I don't want to see any of the other stuff. I don't care about women's shoes. I'm not buying. You think I'm going to buy for my wife? You're crazy. Like, it's not going to happen. Easiest way to get a return. Please show me the women's shoes. I'm happy to return this pair, right? Like, so I think in this experience where you could build something in a profile where someone walks in and you identify their face, almost facial recognition instantly. And then you're like, oh, like, how did you like that last wine? Like, was it good or bad, right? So update your profile. Like, oh, like, I knew this frown. Yeah, exactly. Oh, what's the matter? Would you like a coffee? You look like your face is a little tired. Yeah, you look terrible. You need more booze, right? Like, but I think, in this space, what's really interesting is we've always had these issues around like consumers concerned about their privacy, which I always laughed about. I mean, if you walk through any mall or any public space, people are talking about their private business on the phone as loud as possible.
In the bathroom.
All their thoughts on any of the social media channels, they're
our phones are listening to us.
Yeah.
Our phones are listening.
Yeah. So
I get ads on my phone all the time for stuff that I was just talking to someone about, not on my phone, just it was sitting there.
So if somebody's sitting here saying, well, like, what's
Alexa?
Like, you've given them
Alexa's always listening.
You've given it long ago. We might as well lean into it, right? And say, what's the easier experience for how you want to engage with this new technology to get you more of what you want, faster, easier, quicker, like less returns, et cetera. I think that's for us, like that's the bigger issue, I think, than the customer experience on the operation side is like reducing the returns. To your point, what you guys were saying earlier is like give them exactly what they want and the size that works and the brand they want, and like do it all at once and be able to like know it almost
and try to sell them something additional at the same time, but give them what they want too.
Well, I mean, and this comes to mind, the Alex Partners survey we've just done. And in that survey, we always ask, it's our spring survey, we ask kind of what channels do customers like to engage with purchasing footwear. And e-commerce and brick and mortar will always be up there significantly. But our growth right now is ordering online and pick up in store or curbside pickup. And there's a lot of growth of anticipation of utilizing that, because we've seen for years in our surveying that consumers like brick and mortar better because it is more convenient. Most of us in the U.S. have within a 5-minute drive some shoe store that we can go, probably multiple stores where we can pick out a pair of shoes and we don't have to face returns and we can try them on in store. And so the marriage of the convenience of e-commerce and purchasing something on your phone, access to global inventory, all that's really cool. But consumers still want to go and touch and feel and try it on. So you guys are like marrying those two at the outset of the value proposition of ShopX and providing that. And I will say there is a novelty to the experience at first, right? And so that will attract just gawkers and those interested and people want to try it out.
Love the gawkers.
Yeah, I love the gawkers. Even if they're not like, hey, I don't need wine, but I want to go in that room and hit some buttons and talk to a nice avatar who's going to treat me nicely. I mean, there's going to be some of that as well that really attracts attention. So I'm very interested to see how, when you open this up in a couple of weeks, how it goes and what the user experience looks like.
Yeah, I do want to say about privacy. Obviously, it's a big issue, especially with alcohol, where there's also, age issues. We're not really set up to pull data about customers from other online service sources. Our data on the customer is really going to come just from the conversations, and it's like as if. Your neighborhood liquor store owner that, is on your corner and you talk to him and he knows you intimately. And, but he only knows what you tell him in the liquor store. He doesn't know, anything else. So that world of yours, he's intimately knowledgeable about, in terms of your preferences and how you want to relate to the liquor world. And that's the piece that we're trying to capture with the conversations and with the AI. And that's how we build, the profile. It's not just pulling stuff. So in terms of privacy, it's even more comforting to a customer because they know that, it's like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas kind of thing. It's that, it's by the way, with liquor, I'll just add this piece. Many people that actually have an alcohol problem, they don't like to talk to human beings. They're a bit embarrassed. And we're all about, helping people with their shame. So, you can tell us the truth. It's not going anywhere. It's AI. No one's judging you. Yeah. If you need 3 bottles of wine to get through the day, nobody's going to stop you.
We say the same about shoes.
We'll give you a discount.
We need 3 pairs of shoes to get through the day. Yeah. That's no shame.
Yeah.
Well, Inbar, as we kind of close up, if people are interested, how do they get in contact with you guys to see the proof of concept, check out the video? We'll link it in the description below. We've been even talking about maybe sponsoring a trip over at some point to Israel with key footwear retailers just to see the proof of concept in real life, right? So how do people connect with you guys?
You can go to our website. It's shopxstores.ai, or reach out directly to me. I can provide my email address, and we can schedule a tour and show you in reality what we are creating. And
I'll hit you up on LinkedIn. I know you're there as well.
Yeah, LinkedIn, all platforms basically. But yeah, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn also. Yeah.
Cool.
The web address is at the end of the video also.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Exactly.
Well, we look to learn more when you launch and see what happens, and then also definitely have you back to give us some insights to how consumers are engaging with that. Like I'm fascinated with how someone would walk in and come out and talk about it. Right? I'm sure you do post-consumer surveys when they're walking out the store, and like, how was the experience?
Exactly.
Tweak it, and I think that is really valuable to how we think about the future of understanding their engagement, willingness to engage. But also, I think, as you guys move beyond liquor and wine and beer to, new industries like footwear and what that means, because I think, it's a question for some businesses where they were like, all right, like I want to try this, and maybe I put it in one part of my store, right? And have the traditional experience and then have this kind of AI experience, and like how we transition into this kind of new world will be very fascinating, I think. And it in some ways it'll be, some people may jump full in. You might just have it, I see these proof of concept stores like Best Buy has, like, or Amazon, a grocery where you walk in, it scans all your stuff, you grab something, you walk out, right? You don't have to check out anymore. So I think people are becoming more accustomed to that. It's just in the footwear industry, we do have biases where we've done this for decades, right? So it's like, how do we move beyond that? And I think there'll be some retailers that are established like this, and I think people need to get ready, because I think they'd be, surprised how fast this will happen. But someone will establish their own thing like this, and it'll just happen. Other people may fold it into what they currently are trying to do to become like a kind of a little bit better and learn from it as they go along. And I think, but we're at a crossroads of consumer purchasing in this kind of new era. And especially, I would say this, and I don't know we're going along, but I would also tie in too, like consumer debt issues too, right? Like it'd be nice to have something that tells them, like, you probably, here's a better value shoe for your budget. Like how can you take care of your customers so they come back in 6 months with a little money in their pocket to buy the next pair of shoes, instead of like them buying like the next $150 pair of shoes and then them running out of consumer credit where they can't buy again, right? So it sounds weird to say all this, but like there's got to be some
balance.
I think change in weird ways. Yeah, things are going to change really quickly in ways that we don't understand around some of these technologies. So I appreciate you guys coming on to talk about it, because it's fun to think about. It's more fun to see it come to life. And so we want to have you guys come back and explain that. And then next time, for sure, like later this year, we could talk about proof of concept for footwear and what you're thinking around that. Because I think
we have great design for footwear.
Yeah, you may approach it completely differently than people think, right? And that's what we want. We want people to come in and sharpen our critical thought skills in the footwear industry. So with all that said, we appreciate you guys coming on and taking the time.
Thank you for
Thanks for having us.
Yes.
And
All right. Well, folks, it's a Shoe and Show. We appreciate you listening. This has been a really fun conversation about consumers, retail experiences, innovation, AI, and practice. And I think this conversation will keep happening. And we hope to find more interesting conversations like this. You can hear all our conversations on shoeandshow.com. It's our complete catalog and library. And I'll say this, and Matt and I talk about this all the time, but if you go back 3 years, many of the conversations we have are still relevant to today. Some of those conversations are about leadership. Some of them are about trying to figure out how we, understand consumers. As much as technology is changing, human behavior remains the same. And so, a lot of those conversations on leadership and behavioral issues and things like that are still very relevant. So go back, dabble a little bit if you got some time.
And now all the video, Andy, it's on kicksovercoffee.com. So you can track you can see this in all its glory with both shorts, snippets of clips, as well as the broader conversation.
And you get shorts, it's summertime almost. So make sure you go out, buy some shorts and some new shoes. All right. All right. That's my last joke. That was not a chat GTV. That was a Polk joke. So I don't know what was better or worse to start her in. I think mine was better, but anyway.
It was better, for sure.
Yeah. All right, folks. Thanks again. Shoe-In is out.
Shoe-In has been brought to you by the FDRA, the Footwear Industries Association focused on retail, trade, politics, and fashion, helping create and enhance conversations on all things footwear. For information about FDRA, visit fdra.org.